Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So first of all, I hope you've all had a great Christmas day. Looking forward to Boxing Day with lots of racing, and you continue having great parties throughout the week, leading up to New Year's Day. Now I'm going to spin through some of these because there's quite a few that I like for tomorrow. I've also hidden the ratings because obviously it's Boxing Day. If you want the ratings, you need to sign up. So let's spin through some of those that caught my eye, however, for different reasons. The first one is in the 12:15 at Sedgefield, and the horse that I like here is Imperial Measure. Finished second last time out in a race that I thought the handicap would work out quite well. Sorry, 2 runs ago, when the handicap would work out well with Asian Spice, Danton, Little Pie, Major Fortune. I think that was a good handicap. And interestingly, one of those later on, Major Fortune, is another from that race that I liked. I think it's a race that's going to work out quite well. And I think Imperial Measure can get that race off to a good start in the second race at Sedgefield. Imperial Measure is being really well supported. Back now down to 13 to 8, 15 to 8 is an outlier. So 13 to 8, but I think Imperial Measure will take all of the beating there. Move on to the second race, which is the 12:30 at Aintree. The horse I like here is Riders on the Storm. This is the scene of probably his best run, isn't it? When he won the Old Roan Chase. That was over 2.5 mile. This is over 2.5 mile. His biggest danger is probably Ibleo, but Ibleo hasn't run for 991 days. Venetia Williams will have to work absolute wonders to get that back, giving away all that weight, and then going and winning over a trip that he's never even won over even. I know Riders on the Storm is dropping in the handicap, but I think he's very well handicapped now. It wasn't that long ago, October 2022, that he was actually beating Hitman in an Old Roan Chase. I think he'll take all the beating there. He is currently the 5-4 favourite. A race at Kempton that I like is the 12:45 at Kempton. And the one I like here is Russian Ruler, the one at the bottom here. The reason for that, I thought he was given a very soft ride last time when finishing 4th behind Dejello. Obviously, Dejello's come out and won. Persian Time's come out and won. That's first and second from that race. Has Rich Hill? No, Rich Hill hasn't run. But 4th, I thought Russian Ruler was weighted out the back, never got involved, probably with a future race in mind. This could well be it now that he's had that fitness run. Russian Ruler is currently 4-1. On to Aintree, the 105 at Aintree. The horse I like here is Farron Glory. Has some good form, Gordon Elliott. He won't be bringing it over for no reason. Django Bai is a 4-year-old. He's got a lot of 4-year-olds to beat. I think he'll be too good for those. His form last time out, beating King of Kingsfield, I think is really strong form. Antabar back in third. I mean, Antabar, that was a proper grade 1. He's already won a grade 1. The others are 4-year-olds trying to win grade 1s. I think that may just find them out against the 6-year-old Farron Glory, who should be more, bigger physically than the rest of those. And Farron Glory is currently 3-1 joint favourite. A race at Wetherby that I like, the 135 at Wetherby. The horse I like here is Carl Philippe. I thought his third on his return was a very, very good run behind Can Do Kid and Frero Bamboo. Now, Frero Bamboo obviously came out and ran a really good race at Cheltenham in the 2.5 handicap, and Can Do Kid didn't run badly last time out when he finished second to Gigello recently at Ascot. The form is quite good. The form is strong enough, and Carl Philippe ran a really good race on his return. I think it was his return after, let me just check, 230 days off the track. He probably needed the run. He'll appreciate the step back up in trip as well. So Carl Philippe is my selection in that race, and he is currently, Carl Philippe, you can currently get 13-2 about him. That's bigger than I thought. Especially like the into overdrive. He's got some really good form. Hasn't run for 287 days. Does he know? Hasn't run for 318. Is this their target, or do they have other races in mind? We move on to the 140 at Aintree. The horse that I like here is Shollock Jack. I have a feeling that this might have been a long-term plan for the Skeltons. He stepped up to 3 mile. He had been running over 2.5 last season. He actually won a race beating Enzo Dairy at Lingfield. Then went to Kelso, disappointed in a novice's handicap. Ended up actually running in the Grade 1 at Aintree and fell behind Giro Colombe. This season, came back out in 2 decent races, I think. Better races than what he's running in. Over 3 mile. Hasn't stayed, but never really been put in the race. Kind of suggesting to me that there's another day in mind. Tristan Durrell rode him last time, probably in the hope that they would get him dropped a couple of pounds. They did, so he's dropped from 130 to 125 very quickly, and I think this is the race that they have been looking at. It's worth 33,000 to win it. Sherlock Jack is my selection here at 7s. We move on to Wincanton, the 203, and the horse I like here is Jacomar. So Jacomar has dropped significantly in the weights. He continues to fall down the handicap after being a horse that could win races. He didn't win many, but his last winning mark, he actually won off a mark of 130 at Leicester. He's running off 118 here, plus Bradley takes a useful 5 off. I think this horse is very much a horses for courses horse, in that he either runs well at tracks or he doesn't. I like Leicester. He had some really good form at Leicester. He's won his last 2 at Leicester. If we actually look at Wincanton, he's finished 2nd at Our Power at Wincanton. He's finished 3rd in a Grade 2. Not beaten that far, only 5 1/4 lengths. He's also beat Southfield Harvest at Wincanton. If there's going to be a place that he can bounce back, Wincanton should be it. On off this low mark, he's very, very interesting. He's a bigger price than I thought he'd be. 7 to 1 if he can bounce back at a track you should like. 210 at Wetherby. I think there's a standout here if they're trying. I think there will be. Santos Bleu. Don't know why I said it in a French accent. Dan Skelton, he went off 11 to 1 last time out at Haydock in a serial winners stayers handicap hurdle, having previously finished 2nd to Crambo. I mean, anywhere near to Crambo and you're probably nicely handicapped. This is a class 3, not a class 2 that he'd been running in. And he is getting backed accordingly, 7 to 4. I think that's about right, though. Probably a little bit shorter, worth it, in the fact that he's actually, still improving sort of thing. The others probably aren't. We move on to the 215 at Aintree. Who do I like here? Some Scope. I mentioned him before when he was running at Cheltenham. Thought he would run in that race. He didn't. He runs here instead. It's a handicap over 3 mile, which I think is crucial. 3 mile 1, actually, which I think is crucial. The trip. He definitely needs 3 mile plus. He's now learned how to jump fences. He now knows how to win. And I think he could win a couple of races off his relatively low mark, 115. He is getting backed accordingly, now into 4s. The next one, the 222, I've mentioned this earlier today, the 222 at Market Raisin. When I say today, I mean earlier in this video. The horse I like here is Major Fortune. I think that 3rd placed effort behind Asian Spice will work out well. He was 5th, sorry. 3rd place was the other one we like, Imperial Measure. Major Fortune was 5th. I thought he just maybe either needed the run or wasn't given the best of rides last time. I think he will go very, very close tomorrow. He is currently, 2 to 1. A 2nd favourite, looks like he's just about to come out. We move on. 230 at Kempton. I do like one in this. It's Alaho. I mean, I think he's almost the safest bet in the race as well. Brave Man's Game has been beaten the last 4 times. Alaho has won his last 4 races. Shishkin refused to race last time. We're not guaranteed that he likes 3 mile either. Against proper Grade 1 horses. The Real Whacker disappointed last time. Hewick and Frodon shouldn't be good enough. I mean, they've got a lot to find against Alaho. If he goes to the front and gets to the front, I don't think they'll actually get anywhere near him. He is currently 7 to 4. Moving on to the 250, little bit of a surprise to see this horse running a handicap at Tamuras. Last year, at this time of year, he was winning the Tolworth Hurdle at Sandown. Okay, he didn't quite go on from that. Ended up finishing 10th in a Supreme Novice and 7th in the Top Novices at Aintree over 2 mile. He came out over fences and jumped appallingly. He finished 3rd of 3. But because of that, the handicapper actually dropped him a couple of pounds. And I think they went, well, we was expecting to win that and end up going up £5. We dropped 2. We might as well try and win a handicap then off 137. 2nd time after a wind up. The cheek pieces are on. I think he'll take all the beating here. He is currently 11 to 4. We move on. The 330 at Leopardstown. I don't normally get involved in bumpers, but I am going to get involved in this bumper. because I really like the form of this horse, and we're getting a price because of the favourite. I really like Prance Gardetois. I thought his second last time out behind the Passing Wife was a very good run. They were well clear of the rest. I really like that form, and with that in mind, Cantico is going to need to be very, very good here to win. And I'm happy to take Prendre des Gardes at the price, because we're going to get a bit of a price about him. 100 to 100 to 30 we can get about him. I think that's a bigger price than he should be, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were shorter come tomorrow. And the final race I want to talk about is the 340 at Kempton. The handicap hurdle. Who do I like here? I was interested in 2, but I think 1's got a lot more progression still to come, and that is Will Carver. I think his form is very good. I think he's potentially a very smart horse. He just needs to have a bit of consistency with his running, so to speak. His last 2 runs, he won after 278 days off the track, and before that he was off for 629 days. I think they've clearly had issues, but they've got him out again for his second run. If he improves again, I think he can. And I think 135, I think he could be in a 140 horse come the end of the season. Email Andy is definitely the danger. But yeah, I'm liking Will Carver. He is being backed. He's 3-1. So a quick recap of who they were. Imperial Measure, I like the handicap form, 13-8. Riders on the Storm, 5-4, back at the scene of his best run. Iblio might need the run after 900 and something days off the track. Russian Ruler finished 4th in a race that first and second have both come out and won. Farron Glory, I think he'll be too good for them at this stage in their career due to his age. He's 6, the others are 4. I think his form is good anyway. He's already won a Grade 1 in Ireland. Carl Philippe, I thought that 3rd place behind 2 horses that have done well since, Ferro Bamboo and Gigello, was good form. He'll appreciate the step back up to 3 Mile. Sherlock Jack, I think he'll appreciate the drop down in trip to 2.5 Mile. Had some really good form previously, hasn't quite hit the heights since, but has dropped in a handicap because of it. Jacomar, back at a track that he runs well at, is well handicapped if he can bounce back to his best form, but at a track that he's run 3 really good races. 7-1 about him. Santos Bleu, 7-4, best horse in the race. Looks like he's still progressing. His effort behind Crambo looks very, very strong form. This is only a class 3. Some scope. Now he knows how to jump fences. 3 Mile 1 is ideal. 4-1 about him. Major Fortune, 2-1 about him. I like that handicap form, as I said. The 3rd and 5th from that race, I think, will both win tomorrow. Alaho, I think, gets to the front, makes all the running and doesn't get caught. Brave Man's Game, you can't be backing that for me. He's lost his last 4, and now he's taking on another proper Grade 1 horse. At Aintree, Tamura, so 11-4. I think they were surprised he dropped £2 for his disappointing run over fences. But if he does jump better, I think he would take all the beating. He is a Grade 1 winner. Prendre Gardetois is the current price because of the Willie Mullins horse and connections. If that wasn't a Mullins horse, Prendre Gardetois would be a short price favourite here. And finally, in the last race, I like Will Carver to continue his progression. Now that they're getting a second run into him, I think he is much better than what he's currently handicapped. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas day, and have an amazing Boxing Day.